Yo, it's your boy Logos, and lately I've been hearing about this Sneako and Destiny debate they have Fresh and Fit on a podcast that also apparently involved Wallow, and I'm curious to see how it occurred. Apparently Wallow lost his cool or he popped off or whatever. I don't know. I don't watch his content because, like I said over and over again, I don't get too deep into the Redpill stuff because I'm not trying to be one of these people that got a vendetta or just hate women or whatever. I think you should take the good pieces out of it and leave the bad pieces out. Nobody's perfect and we're all fallible, but let's see what happens.
Now, listen, for just 5 seconds, okay? This is no joke here,
but then I don't even know what the red pill idea of a high value man is. Is it just being rich? Like, what's the point of having all this money and not having a family?
What is a high value man? It's the first part of the tweet. What does that mean?
You tell me what a high value man is. Because here's the thing: is it doesn't matter what I'm going to say is a high value man. You guys are fucking
because it's your tweet.
Douche nozzles like yourself to have this conversation in the first place.
How old are you, bro? Douche nozzles?
Yes. You guys are idiots. Why you guys come in here from Twitch straight? Like, how?
You don't think Ben Shapiro's a high value man?
Let's take for. Do I think he is? I don't think he's a high value man.
Wait, what is his definition? He owns his own business. It's like one of the most successful alt media platforms in the world. He's married his fucking young sweetheart.
Right. You know who else is not a high value guy? Elon Musk. Let's see. Who else? Jeff Bezos. Yeah, go back to Twitch. Huh? There's some advice for you. That's some real advice.
Your boy.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I consider Jeff Bezos, any of those guys that he just mentioned, the last three of them, to be high value guys because they have the money, they have the connections, they built themselves up. At least Jeff Bezos did. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Elon Musk. Like, I consider these guys high value, especially, well, all of these guys are intelligent too. I'm gonna say especially Elon because of intelligence, but if you're that successful, you're at least intelligent about business. You're intelligent about diplomacy because you have to work with people, get deals done, come to compromises, sometimes favoring you, sometimes not. So I don't know. I consider those guys have value.
Boys here.
Rollo Tomasi, shout out to Rollo Tomasi in the fucking house. Bro, why are you in the chat, bro? Like, he's always in the chat.
What else? Hey, chill. He's probably doing his hair right now.
Bro,
okay?
he's our homie, man. Destiny just.
It's not just your stream. Like, I see him in every show I go on. Just dudes like, are you always online?
He'll be here next week.
Are you serious, bro? Valuetainment. Yeah, Pearl show, everything.
Would you debate Rollo?
Of course I would.
He would body you.
Oh. Okay.
He would body you. All right.
Just sure. As long as his wife lets him do it,
Bro. What the? Destiny just sends this week. OF girls to debate me because he's too scared to come to Vegas and sit across the table from me. Offer's been open since November.
Damn.
If he wants to debate me on somebody else's podcast, that's fine. But I'm not going to go and like dig this guy up like fucking Lazarus from the underworld and try to resurrect his career. That's not my job.
He'll be here next week.
Okay, I'll be here too.
We should do a round table.
Okay, round table.
If he wants to, yeah.
And he should debate your ass.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's pull up Rollo's tweet real quick because this has been a point of contention with Sneako and a lot of things. And we got it right there. So this was his tweet, right? It goes, and this was from a week ago? About a week ago. So the quickest path to becoming a high value man: number one, don't get married, avoid family creation, vasectomy in your 20s, lift consistently, eliminate all sedations, learn game and networking, play to your strengths, build wealth, resist easing up on your focus. And it's the quickest path to becoming a high value man. And I know that Sneako had some point of contention specifically with number 3, which is get a vasectomy in your 20s.
Can I just ask, why did he need 8 points? Did he like get contracted to write all 8 of these? Because like I see some duplication. So like number 2, avoid family creation. Number 3, vasectomy in your 20s.
It's kind of the
Couldn't
same.
that be like collapsed into 1 point? Did he need 8? Did he feel stupid with like 6 or 7? Or
okay, I mean you're.
I'm just curious. But
I think he's clarifying it out. It's just 8 things. I mean, he could have put them together, I guess.
The best person to ask question to is Rollo directly.
That's true.
So we'll do it next week, probably.
I hope so, yeah.
But this list is concise because, once again, he's just saying in general, fastest way to get to that point.
Yeah.
What is high value man?
I think he means what he means in this context is being a guy that's like desirable to women and being attractive to women, so that you'll be I guess a marketable sexual partner.
Well, but that doesn't make sense, right? Like avoid family creation and get a vasectomy and like want. Be attractive to men.
But no. It's because
women, right?
Again, like I said it before. I'll say it again because you're here. So he gave the instructions to retard proof it, right? Because when you give advice, typically you have to, appeal to the lowest common denominator. So like there's guys out there, right, that could have been, I'm being honest here. There's guys out there that, could have played basketball back in the day, maybe football, whatever. And their career got smashed because they got a girl pregnant and they couldn't pursue what they want to do because they had to be a dad early.
True.
So what he's saying is, okay, this is how you mitigate risk so you could become a higher status guy. We're going to eliminate all the things that could fuck you up. Now, I want to make this very clear for some of y'all because some of you guys don't understand. I'm not saying I advocate for vasectomies or whatever. I don't have one. I've never gotten one. But what I am saying is that given the context of what he's tweeting for this specific situation, it makes sense because he's saying, hey, these are the ways so that you don't fuck yourself up to ensure that you're going to be successful. He's retard proofing it.
But that is a pretty retarded advice because you're saying do this so that you become more attractive to women. So what's even the point of having a relationship with a woman if you can't have kids with her? Then you're just having an empty relationship just to fuck her for your whole life. And then what?
He's saying to become high value, which means you make the choice. Do I want to do that or not? So he's giving you the choice to do that, but want to become high value.
Myron just said that it's to become high value to become attractive to a woman.
Yeah, if that's what you choose.
I feel like we're 2 months away from tweets of like, give your bro like the key to your fucking cock chastity cage to make sure that you guys aren't fucking around without permission or whatever. Like, I feel like we're like, don't you guys tweet all the time about how like, oh, like women are fucking disgusting that are freezing their eggs at like 20 and they're never gonna find out. And now you've got like guys that go to sperm clinics. Like, here you go. I'm never gonna be able to impregnate my wife because there's like a 30% reversal rate on this fucking surgery. But maybe in the future I can
laugh
inject
at
my
girls who want
cold
to freeze their
fucking
eggs
semen
all the time.
Yeah, like
But-
it's like the same
But
shit.
notice, right? He has 2
It's like
points.
a 90% reversal rate.
Yeah.
Actually.
Well,
So
depending on
is
how
that true?
quick it is. Wait, for vasectomies?
Yeah, to get it reversed and be able to actually
After like 10 years, it's like 30 to 50%.
Yeah, but
And
your
you're
20s
years,
is
though.
10 years.
You're supposed to reverse it back within the 10
Well,
years.
wait,
your-
hold on,
your
wait. So you're
20s
gonna
is
get
10 years.
vasectomy at like, you're gonna get a vasectomy at 20, become high value by 23, and then get it reversed. Like what?
I mean, I wouldn't say 23. You're being extreme as usual.
Well, he said your 20s. That's 10 years.
Yeah, but you could do it. But when you're 28, 29, at that
So
point,
what? So 9 years? What is it? 45% chance of reversal, bro. You're not gonna have kids anymore.
You're sterilizing half your audience. That's just wild to me.
Hold on. Notice
Yeah.
he had 2 points there. He said, 1, avoid what? Family creation. And 3, vasectomy in 20s. You can choose what you want to do. Apply what you need to apply. He's just saying you could do either or.
Okay.
No, he's
I'm
not.
just saying, I'm worried that
Yeah.
Rollo's kids aren't going to have any customers to sell books to. Okay,
here's
that's what I'm
the
worried
thing
about.
you guys are confusing it with. He's giving that advice. Those things are to mitigate fuck ups.
Yeah.
So that you get on your path to becoming higher status. That's to mitigate fuck ups. It's not about this is so you can fucking have a bunch of kids and have a family. That's not the advice. The advice is this is how you mitigate fuck ups in your 20s so that you can become attractive. Now, again, like I said before, am I telling guys go out there and get a vasectomy? No. But he's giving these points because if you follow those things, it's going to be very difficult for you to fuck your life up.
Here's a question for on that list.
Yeah, go
He's got 2 things. Okay. About your dick, okay? About avoid family creation, get a vasectomy. Is there anything on that list about like just avoid women?
But
avoid
hold on.
temptation.
Hold on. We know as men, we want women no matter what. But whether we want to abstain or be monk mode, it doesn't matter. However, question for you guys on the panel. If you had a kid, be honest here, would you be where you're at right now?
Destiny had a kid
I
in
have
his
a
early
kid,
20s.
yeah.
No. Well, oh, you did?
Yeah, he had a
He's
kid
in
in his early
Nebraska,
20s.
Okay.
He's very successful.
But I mean, no, it was a lot of difficulty, of course. Yeah.
But be honest though, your kid is amazing, I bet. But at the same time, it did hold you back a little bit.
No,
on
yeah, of
certain
course,
things.
yeah.
Sneako, for you, would you be in the same spot? Honestly,
if I had a kid at what age are you talking about?
earlier, like 20.
I mean,
No, you wouldn't be. That's the point here. He's
yeah,
saying-
who knows where I would have been? My life would have been a completely different life.
The point is you might not even be here. I'm just trying to say he's saying mitigate risk and say, you know what? Avoid
Well, I
kids-
might not be on the Fresh and Fit podcast right now, but I would have been successful in different realms, and maybe I would have taken a different path.
How do you
also,
know?
why not just like use protection?
Yeah, see, this
No,
okay.
That's a good point. And he said avoid what? Family creation, which means use a condom too.
No, it doesn't. It says get a vasectomy. That was the advice. Stop
That's
trying
number
to.
3.
You're coping,
That's
bro.
number 3. Number 2 says avoid what? Creation.
So is it like this
It
is
could
like the list of 8 things to be successful? Pick 5.
That's the list.
Listen.
It's like a build your own lunchbox from
It's-
Taco Bell. Like
it's-
what, I thought
it's
you'd
the
follow all the points of the
context
list.
A faster way to be high value, which means, for example, mitigate risk. That's all he's saying here.
Hold on.
I think what Destiny and Sneako brought up about the whole gain of vasectomy, freezing your sperm, being equivalent to women freezing their eggs, and how much that is talked about in the manosphere. I think that's a very good point. I never really thought about that, but it is a very interesting, I don't know, counter argument that he brought up, and I do appreciate that because I have thought about getting a vasectomy when I was younger, just because I didn't want to have kids until I got married, and I want to be absolutely sure of that. But you know, there's always stuff you could do like condoms and Plan B, or being with somebody that's on birth control. I don't know. There's like ways to mitigate it, but I do agree with the fact that if you would have had a kid young, I think that is only a handicap to you in terms of how successful you could be, or at least how fast you could get there. I don't think you should be having kids until you're ready to have them. And if you're already having a hard time taking care of yourself, or you're just getting used to it, you have no skills, no experience, nothing like that, then make you have a high value job that pays you well, you're gonna be struggling. And I don't think that's something you should put yourself or that child through. So I do agree with Fresh and Fit or Wallow on that. I don't know exactly how I feel about the whole vasectomy thing, especially now, because I never got a vasectomy even still. And I don't think I plan on getting one in the future because it's not necessary, at least in the situation I'm in right now. But I don't know, overall about do not get married. And if you find somebody that you trust and you love, and you already know you've been together like 4 or 5 years, like at a certain point, just lock it down. It may work out, it may not. You can't predict that type of stuff, so I don't think you should just be, I don't know, risking your chances of fucking up or hurting people because of, I don't know, wanting to be a high value man. At least be honest up front if you're gonna do that.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the part that I completely disagree with.
I mean,
and
I'm not context under what he's talking. I think
taking it,
but
this is a whole other level.
I'm not.
We're taking it literally.
This is which you should take it literally if this is the Godfather of the Red Pill, right? You guys all give this guy so much credit. I don't really know
he's
much
written
about
like 5 books supposedly.
The
right?
hypocritical part about it is that we make fun of girls all the time for not controlling their sexual urges and being hoes all the time. Like, she belongs to the streets, all this stuff. You tell guys that they're losers if they don't go to the gym. They're losers if they play video games. You're a loser if you smoke weed. You're a loser if you watch sports. You need to exercise discipline. But when it comes to girls, oh shit, get a vasectomy because you can't control yourself, because you're not capable of exercising discipline. Why do you have to be disciplined in every single aspect of life? Networking, success, all this stuff, watching sports, playing video games. You need to be on your stuff. But for women, nut inside girls after getting a transgender surgery, that's the one thing you can't be disciplined in.
Sneako, can you stop fucking girls?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Stop the cap.
Hold it to it right now. Don't fuck until you get married.
Well, no.
Better
advice.
You
Better
just
advice.
said you can hold it. So don't fuck until you get married.
Better advice.
Just because I can doesn't mean I want to. Like, come on, that's the difference. Some people can do that. I don't know, personally, not me. I don't want to have to just wait. But if it's between the option of having a kid and not having a kid, then fuck it. I'm going to just wait and not have sex until I get married. But if I'm doing the right things, like, wearing a condom, using Plan B, birth control, etc., yeah, I'm not going to choose abstinence. Yeah, life is short. Like, shout out to the Hodge twins growing up. They always say, like, man, you don't know how much nuts you could be busting right now, and you're out here playing games and shit.
Advice is
No. I swear to God.
What,
Right
you're saying no.
Are you cool with that? Handshake.
Well, no, wait. Here's the real question. Hold on. Has Sneako fucked a girl before?
Yes.
Has he had a vasectomy?
No.
Does he have any kids?
No.
He's
Then boom, there you go. He's able to do it. He's able to do it.
Plan B. So he would have had a kid, which means he's gonna at some point.
Hey,
We're
listen,
human.
and they still
We're
sell
men.
They still sell Plan B.
No, but the point is
That is the point. He's able to fuck girls, not have a vasectomy, and still not have kids. It's possible.
What did number 2 say? Avoid family creation. It could be condom or Plan B, but he's just saying to be
It's
extra
another
careful.
form of contraception, is what it is, basically.
But he didn't say that, and that's not a good form of contraception because it's not supposed to be reversed. That's what the doctor tells you when you get a vasectomy surgery. It's like, you cannot expect this to be reversed. That you shouldn't go into that thinking that you're going to reverse it. And also, a better advice, instead of saying never fuck again, maybe for the women that I do have sex with, prepare that she could be the mother of your children. Maybe don't spend time with hoes all the time thinking I need to fuck 50 girls so I understand feminists and how retarded they are. Maybe just don't fuck them. Maybe fuck women that you can see yourself having a family with.
When you first hold on, that's a very good
You
point.
won't be able to detect that though unless you have experience.
You need experience.
You need experience, bro.
How would
How do
you know?
wait? No. How do you need experience? What does that mean?
How would you know what's good for you if you never had it?
The Red Pill advice is you need 50 bodies to understand women.
I want to open this one up.
Let's go.
Do you think you need to fuck a girl to tell if she's like family material?
No, we're saying experience-wise.
What does experience mean?
No. Dating, courting, and having that one-on-one experience. Okay, she likes this. She doesn't like this. This is weird. This doesn't work. I can tell from experience what works.
Wait,
now,
what does any of that have to do with fucking her?
hold on, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Now, adding in sex, you can understand. Okay, once this point has passed, I can see who she really is. 'Cause remember, people put on front at the very beginning, but when you have sex with somebody, more often likely to show you who they really are.
That is absolutely not true. How many stories do you hear of husbands who are like, my wife used to blow me every single day, and then as soon as we got married, all the sex stopped? Or we have dead bedrooms now. We were super active our first year, but that is absolutely not true. Sex can absolutely change after you've gotten married. And you can tell, regardless of experience, you can tell who's a 304 or who's like family material without fucking them first. For you guys, you can probably tell just by looking at their Instagrams. Isn't that what you guys are like professionals at? Is picking out hoes based on their Instagram pictures? You're telling me you have to fuck through like 30 women to find a good... Like, how many conservative men, like if we brought in like real conservative men who have strong families, how many of them are like, yeah, I had to fuck 25 bitches when I was in college or to find the love of my life right now that can take care of my kids. That's a wild statement. If you want to, that's fine. But don't pretend you're doing it for this fucking altruistic purpose of finding a good mom.
But Destiny, can you admit that when you meet somebody for the first time, right? You're trying to see who they really are as a person, and ultimately you're gonna have sex, right?
I mean,
you don't have to.
But I mean, having sex is like the least important part of seeing what kind of a person they are.
Actually, if you're compatible or not is very important.
If you're compatible, but in terms of like, would this be a good mom?
Yeah, that's not.
Is it like what if she throws it back doggy? She'd probably take the kids like out to the park every day. Like, what does that even mean? Like, what? Like, she doesn't swallow. I don't think she'd feed my kid if I didn't make it home in time. Like, what does that mean?
Okay,
like,
so
she shows up to blow me every night, so I know she'll be on time picking my kid up from school. Like, what is the correlation here?
The whole package itself, right, is going to include sex. I'm just saying the dating process itself, going through the whole motions, you can see who the person really is. That's all I'm saying here.
He said he wants to call in and.
Okay, that was, Destiny with fresher part. What I think Fresh is trying to say is like, at least for guys, after you have sex with a girl, like, I don't know, you can see like more clearly whether or not you want to be in a relationship with her. Like, how some guys, they'll like talk and deal with the girl, but then after he has sex with her, like he starts to lose interest or whatever. Like sometimes you really don't know whether or not you can be in a long-term relationship with somebody until you like spend an extended period of time with them. But by the time you spend that extended period of time with them, you already had sex a few times. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse for you to say, I gotta go and fuck 60 women to figure out which one's gonna be my wife. Shoot, you could fuck like 3 women, and then the 4th one, you was like, oh, this is a nice girl. And y'all go good for 3 years, you marry her, you good. Like, you don't have to say, like, she's a good girl, but I'm only at body 4. Like, I get to body 60. And once I hit 60, I got all the knowledge, I hit max level. And I can fucking prestige and I can get a wife. Like, you don't have to do that. If you find a girl that you want to settle down with and you're ready to settle down, then I think you should just settle down. Because it's better than just taking the risk of having all these babies or getting diseases and all this stuff over and over again.
Tell us what he actually meant.
I guess. Here's a novel idea. How about you tell me, let me call it to tell you what I actually meant.
You know what? Let's do it, bro.
Let's go ahead and bring Rolo Tomasi on. Shout out to Rolo. Shout out to you.
Can you hear me okay?
What up, man?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So let me explain a few things here. I wasn't able to do this the last time you guys were talking about this, but so about gosh, is it now 2 weeks ago? I think it was Tuesday of last week. You guys had Brandon Carter on. Is that with Derek Moneyberg? Or was that Monday? Monday. Sorry, let me get my camera back up there. So Monday, you guys were talking to Brandon Carter. One of the things that Brandon was talking about was you got to love money. You got to be on top of your game. And I love Brandon Carter, by the way. I think he should be a stand-up comedian. I mean, the guy is that funny. He's a great guy, right? But when you guys are on that show and you're talking to him, and he's talking about how he doesn't go to he doesn't go to Publix, doesn't go grocery shopping for himself. He doesn't go do his own laundry. He doesn't have a car. I mean, it's Brickle White, but he doesn't have like some basic stuff because his philosophy in life is that anything that takes him away from his grind, anything that takes him away from anything that would distract him or that would be financially or mathematically not a pragmatic choice for him to make, as far as like if he's spending time going grocery shopping or going and getting food for himself or whatever else. I'm sure he's like into meal prep and everything else, but pretty much everything in his life is outsourced, because anything that he would be spending that time himself to go do, he could be losing money doing that at that time. So when I was listening to this and I was thinking about this myself, because I was actually at the same time, I'm like, helping a friend move and all this. And I'm thinking about this. I'm going, you know what? If you want to be a high value man, if you want to get to that apex level as fast as you can, how is that not the best way to go about it? Okay. So the point of that whole tweet, which was basically a throwaway tweet that everyone started like snowballing into something else. I've got Ben Shapiro coming at me. I got Matt Walsh coming at me. I got Lauren Chen coming at me. I got all these people off of Daily Wire because it was just easy, low-hanging fruit for these guys because they think that that's what the fucking manosphere is all about. And it's not, okay? That was not fucking advice. Everything that is on Twitter is not advice, okay?
Was that a joke?
No, it was not necessarily a joke, but it's like, let's just say it's a hypothetical, okay? It's
What?
now
That's not
listen,
what a hypothetical is.
for just 5 seconds, okay? This is no joke here because everything that's come out of both of you guys' mouth has been nothing but distraction and misdirection because it's easy clicks for you. So here's the whole thing. When I'm talking about get a vasectomy, or don't be concerned with.
I like how when he's mad, his glasses get uneven on his nose. You see?
Let him finish.
Okay.
I'm really mad about this, bro.
Shall we keep going? Are we just gonna have jokes thrown in here?
Really heated about this.
Is that what I get to? Is that what I get to do it? Okay. So here's the deal.
Go ahead.
When I'm talking about this, when I'm throwing this out there, why wouldn't you do that? Would you not have been more successful, Sneako, had you not had to go through certain things? If you had a kid right now,
is it advice or not?
You would be playing the game with a handicap. You would be playing the game with your fucking hands tied behind your back.
Okay, so
there are guys right now who I have a lot of respect for, and I'm sure you have a lot of respect for as well, who all have kids, but you know what they try to do? Try to keep it under wraps.
Okay,
try
so
to make sure nobody knows about the kids. Okay,
what is advice?
so here's okay. First off, this is not advice. Everything that is on my show or is on Twitter is not automatically advice. Now, but here's the thing. You know what you're going to say, because here's the deal. When I was on whatever podcast I was telling this, I was saying exactly the same thing here, is that everything that comes out of somebody's mouth on Instagram or on Twitter or on a YouTube, there's no way you can't go on there without somebody going, this is what these guys are saying to do. Because if you have this set automatically, that if it comes out of your mouth, it's automatically advice. It can't just be data. It can't just be statistics. It can't be, nothing can be just delivered sort of like, here's some data for you to look at. Okay. Nothing can be set. Nothing can be given to you without somebody going, well, the reason why you're telling me this is because you're telling me that this is the best way to live my life. Okay. So when I'm watching Brendan Carter and I'm watching all this going on, and I'm looking at like guys that I know and guys that you know as well. And when these are the guys who are like saying, you know, be on your game, do this, do that. They're the ones that are giving this advice. All I'm doing is saying, hey, look, maybe you should not focus on family. Maybe you should not get married. I mean, I don't know why that's big.
Maybe advice.
I'm not saying it's advice. What I'm saying is that is this over the fucking top that everybody wants to take it out of context, which is exactly what you guys have been doing.
So what is it? Can you tell me what that tweet was if it wasn't advice?
It's not advice. What it is it's saying that this is the most extreme way to do things. Okay, here's the quickest path to. If I told you this, look, if I said the quickest way for you to make $1 million,
that sounds like advice.
Is to go steal it from the bank or go to steal it. Does that mean I'm telling you to go steal it? If I tell you to go fucking jump off a cliff, are you going to go jump off a cliff?
Right,
I'm also, by the way, here's the other thing is I'm also responding to Dr. Richard Reeves in this as well.
Okay, there's a lot of context about it, sure, but all the rest of the list, you're equating vasectomy to lifting, game, play to your strength, resisting up on easing your focus. The rest of it sounds like general advice.
Okay, well let's say so let me ask you. So is it the vasectomy part that's throwing you off?
Really genuine good advice, right? The rest of it.
Is it the vasectomy part? Do you agree with pretty much everything else except for the vasectomy part?
The first three is weird because then I don't even know what the red pill idea of a high value man is. Is it just being rich? Like, what's the point of having all this money and not having a family? Why be that rich? The guy who's always grinding. Whoa, Brandon Carter doesn't have to do his laundry. Sick. What else are you going to do with your life? Right. Maybe this is actually meant so that you'll get it. You'll have a freaking epiphany about how all the shit that you have to sacrifice to get to that in the first place. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to live the kind of life, let's say like a Brandon Carter is, where you're going to outsource your entire life? Or are you going to actually have kids? Is that something that's a priority for you? Because I will tell you right now that if you follow this if you were to actually follow this list right here, that is the fastest way for you to get to a point where you are more high value.
Right. So here's the thing. So when I say that, people go, well, that's not what a high value man is. A high value man is what I define it as, which is he's got to have a good, loving, devoted wife. He's got to have 3 or 4 kids or 10 kids, depending on whatever culture you're talking about. All of this stuff that makes up whatever that person who happens to have that is, then that's suddenly the definition of what a high value man is. So what I'm saying this is the best way to become a high value man. I'm not saying this is the only way to become a high value man. I'm just saying that this is the fastest way to go and do something like that.
You've been talking a lot for 5 minutes. What is your definition of a high value man?
It doesn't matter. That's not what I was talking about in this.
It doesn't matter.
I what you're talking about. That's what the first part of the tweet is. How to become a high value man.
The fastest way to become a high value man is to recognize the fact that you've got sacrifices to make. Okay.
So what is that? Telling stories from Vietnam. Just say, what is a high value man? It's the first part of the tweet. What does that mean?
You tell me what a high value man is. Because here's the thing: is it doesn't matter what I'm going to say is a high value man. You guys are fucking
because it's your tweet.
It doesn't matter what I say is a high value man because everybody takes this. The point of the tweet is that everybody is going to take this and then insert their own definition of what a high value man is.
What if a high value man is 12 kids when you're 6?
That's okay, maybe I'm just not understanding. But for my opinion, the tweet looks like advice. But at the same time, how can you not just tell us what a high value man is? You put it in the beginning. This is the predecessor and this is the rest. This is what it's referring to. What's a high value man? And you saying it depends on the person. I don't know. I really never heard that before. It just depends if you could be high value. If this is your definition of high value, I don't know. It just seems like a weak thing. And it sounds like something that us in the manosphere would make fun of a lot if I heard it from somebody else. So Wallow saying it, it just sounds hypocritical. I don't get where he's going at here. And it's just not looking good for him, to be honest.
16. Then your tweet doesn't work, does it? What if your definition of a high value man is being getting into a trade and having 5 kids by the time you're 22? Then it also high value man is being an esports professional.
You're absolutely making my point for me right here. Okay, this is what I'm saying.
The point is that high value man. You gave a list of 8 things. Do these 8 things to become a high value man. Do 1 through 8 to become A, and you're not defining what A is.
The fastest way to becoming a high value man is these things.
What is that?
Okay. So here's the thing. So if we're talking about family creation, we already talked. Okay, so you want to go? Okay, let's go one by one. You want to go one by one? Okay,
no,
so
I want to go before one by one. What is a high value man?
We can't have an argument if I don't even know what your definition is.
The very fact that you're even asking this in the first place is the actual point of the fucking tweet. Okay, so if you're going to be a high value man with the fucking hands tied behind your back, then what is that? What does that mean to you? That's the point. This whole discussion is the point of the fucking tweet.
You guys, one of the tweet was, you've got some conception of a high value man. Here are 8 points that you think you need to do to get to it. And now you've gotten blown the fuck up on the vasectomy thing, which you probably realize is fucking retarded. But you're too old and stubborn to walk back from it. That's the point of this conversation.
I'm not too stubborn to walk back from it because the point of it was to get douche nozzles like yourself to have this conversation in the first place.
How old are you, bro? Douche nozzles?
Yes. You guys are idiots. Why do you guys come in here from Twitch stream? How you guys are legitimate in all of this? I don't know, because everything I've heard come out of you guys' mouth is just confident ignorance. That's
No, Myron. Okay, I'm not asking you in terms of the debate. You call yourself the Godfather of the Redpill. You
call myself the Godfather of the manosphere. Okay, other people have called me that.
Okay, great. That's very.
Do you understand?
Okay, so
Godfather or grandfather of the man? Which one is it?
Whatever it is, the old guy of the manosphere. What is your definition of high value man? This is the #1 talked about topic on all of these shows, so I want to get a clear definition from you. What is it?
You tell again. It depends on the person. It depends on the culture. Depends on the. So here's the thing. Let me tell you. Maybe I can explain this to you, Sneako, because at least you got your ears open here. The thing is that when we're talking about what's the top G, what's a high value guy, you probably haven't heard this because you don't read my stuff and you don't watch my shit. No. But I've also said this is the red pill has to be for everybody, or it's for nobody. So if we're looking at a guy who's draped across a Lamborghini and he's got hot chicks with him, and we say that's what I'm aspiring to, but I'll never make that because I live in a fishing village on the coast of Chile, right? That means I can never match that high apex of a high value guy.
The guy in the car?
But the guy who happens to live in those villages or happens to be in a different culture or in a different country or whatever else, he can still benefit from that because however he's defining himself as a high value man in his fishing village, maybe that's what he can aspire to.
It has nothing to do with Chile and the village in the car.
See, here's the thing: is you guys want
people in Chile in a fishing village. If they have fishing villages, I highly doubt they have access to a vasectomy. I don't know. That just sounds what he's saying. It just sounds like an excuse he just put off his ass. This whole thing about it could just be whoever you want it to be. I don't know. I just feel like just having some basic parameters is good enough, and you could have a family or not and still be a high value man. That particular thing is up to you because that's a very personal decision to decide to create children and decide to take care of them for 18 years, probably longer. That's an emotional investment. That's a financial investment. Not to mention the person you decide to have it with. You're tied to that person for the rest of your life. Regardless if you stay together or not, you can't get away from that. I don't know.
Want me to say, okay, a high value man makes $100,000 a year. He's fucked 50 chicks. He's got like that's the thing.
That's not what I want you to say. I disagree with that. I'm asking you because I come on this all the time.
Disagree with it. What I'm saying is the point of the tweet is so you will ask that question.
I'm past the tweet. I'm past
that.
Look, I'm asking as somebody who's really interested in the red pill. I listen to a lot of this content. I want to know what your definition is, because if you have a definition that's completely off of what I think it is, then I guess I'm not red pill.
Well, here's what I think guys ought to do. Would you like me to give you some prescriptions? Is that what we're trying for here?
No, I want to know your opinion of a high value man. What is it?
I think a high value man is whatever is contextually makes that guy a high value guy in whatever culture that he happens to be in. If that's money, that's money. Right now, that's what we tend to focus on right now. But if I'm going to say that,
value man is a guy that has the things that makes him a high value man.
All right,
the things that make you a high value man. Okay, what is that? You know, we've been trying to. We're never going to define it.
We just kind of because here's the thing. When I read the tweet, I interpreted it right with a higher step. Like he's listing things that if you follow these things, right, and you actually follow them, you're probably not going to become a right. And to be a high value guy, I would say it's a combination of things. It's obviously having your money on point, having social proof and status, having respect from your peers, having a network of other high value men, right, which I agree with Kevin Samuels on that, being fit to a degree. If you have all these things in place, you'll be considered a high value man by most people in most societies, right, if you have these things in place. Now, with that said, to get there, right, you obviously have to focus and get your shit together and make sure that you focus on getting there. What he's saying is all these, the list of things that he mentioned, if you follow them, it's going to mitigate your risk of becoming a fuck up and not getting to that point as quickly as possible. And I think that's so important, is that this tweet kind of gets taken out of context. He's saying the quickest way to become a high value man, avoid and do these things because you're limiting distractions. And he's using Brandon Carter as an example where he's in a monogamous relationship with a girl. He outsourced a lot of his things. Why? So he's able to focus on making more money. He's getting rid of obstacles. And I think that tweet demonstrates that.
Yes.
You're getting rid of obstacles so you can become a high value man in the quickest possible way. Now, I know the most controversial one is the vasectomy. Though there's other ways to get the same, I guess, effect.
Hey, yo, the chat in the corner is killing me. They're saying that Myron glazing. They glazing the dude over here. Rollo, almost forgot his name. He glazing Rollo on his nuts and stuff.
From vasectomy, let's say you use a condom, let's say you pull out, whatever it may be. He's saying, okay, if you get the vasectomy, then we know for a fact you're not going to have children.
Yeah.
It's really no different than having a condom or pulling out or whatever it may be. The point is to not get a girl pregnant. How you want to get there is up to you, whether it's through a vasectomy, using condoms, whatever. But he's making it retard proof. Hey, vasectomy, because I know even if you are the dumbest guy ever, you can't fuck this up.
I don't think a retarded guy could be a high value guy.
No, when I say retarded, I mean as in stupid. But what I'm saying is that the point I'm trying to make is this list is the foolproof way, if everything is followed, for you to get your status up as quickly as possible in your 20s.
That's not what the list is, though. Because what you just said was advice, and he said it's clearly not advice. So you're interpreting it a different way.
He said he's joking, and he's trying to provoke
joking,
people.
Like half of it was just for jokes.
But I'm telling you, I started out telling you guys how I interpreted that.
Yeah,
sure.
Right.
You're not wrong.
Right here.
You're not wrong.
So that people can interpret it how they want.
Exactly.
To create discussion. That's the point.
And you know what's funny?
That's what he's saying.
He asked a question earlier. So you asked him a question, what is high value? You answered it. is whatever you determine that to be.
No, that's bullshit. None of you guys believe that.
bullshit.
If some guy comes on this show and he weighs 350 pounds and he says, I'm Diamond 1 in League of Legends, that's what I want to do with my life, would you go, well, if that's what you really want, you're high value? You wouldn't say that.
No, but once again, it starts in the mind. You're gonna say, for example, oh, that's not true, which I agree it's not true. But ultimately, you as a man decide what's high value for you.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Value is probably something that's determined by society. High value means that you have a worth to other people. You're just talking about being comfortable, having high self-esteem.
I agree, but the tweet...
You don't say you agree with me. I just said the total opposite thing you just said.
No. I agree at that point where, for example, people determine you as high value. However, the tweet saying high value could mean, in your sense, whatever that means to you.
No, it doesn't.
What?
That's what he's saying.
No, he's not. He doesn't know because he doesn't have a good definition. Because he knows if he says anything, he's going to get pinned
You sound
down
like
on
the
it.
girls who believe they're a 10 because they describe themselves as a 10 in the mirror.
If you
Exactly. I'm glad Sneako said this is crazy. Sneako actually saying this shit. But yeah, I'm glad Sneako said it. Come on, man. Like, there's a exact definition, or at least like a broad but still concise enough definition that we all know it. And I would agree with Myron. I heard it from Kevin Samuels, and I think what he said made sense. Making this certain amount of money. I think he said like 6 figures from like a certain amount of years. Having connections with other high value men, high skilled men, valuable men, and like a network and some other things. Like, that stuff is just concise. It makes sense because you have the respect, you have the skill, you have the value, you have the money, and you have the means to support yourself and the family if you choose to. That makes sense. It's concise. It's a attainable goal that somebody could go for if that's something that makes them happy or make them feel fulfilled. And it's better than this whole, it depends on where you're from or what it means to you. Like, that's ridiculous. If that's the case, what's the point of Myron talking about going to the gym? I feel high value because I'm this big and this and the other, but I still make people laugh. I'm a high value man, just at the same level of Myron. You think Myron would just sit there and take that and just like, yeah, you're damn right, and dap him up? No, he gonna fucking laugh, snicker, and probably try to check him on it. Come on, this is stupid.
brought in some
You're missing
loser,
the point.
and he's like, I'm high value because I'm a manager at my McDonald's. You probably wouldn't agree that he's high value.
Is that when he says high value, you're going to determine that as a man, what does that mean for you? Success is a part of it, yes, but their success could be owning a farm or having a business. It doesn't matter. He's saying to get to that point, you need focus. Ultimately, that's what he's saying. Just be focused.
I mean, look, we make fun of the girls all the time for saying that they're 10 out of 10s all the time because they say it in their head, I believe I'm a 10 out of 10. No, that's ridiculous because society determines how attractive you are. Society determines how valuable you are. You can't apply that a lot. You can't make fun of the girl, the ugly fat whale who thinks she's a 10 girl boss queen, and then also say a high value man can believe it in his head.
Well, I gave you guys a 10.
You have a good definition. You talked about some shit, being relatively fit, having a network of people that are very social. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that sounds like
I do, because here's the thing. For me, I will define it because that will allow you guys to see where I'm coming from when I'm interpreting that.
Yeah, we know where you're coming from, but we have the tweet out there. He doesn't know where he's coming from. He seems a little lost right now, so we're trying to figure out,
Crazy. I agree with Myron on this. I usually don't watch Fresh and Fit or agree with Myron, but I don't know. This stuff sounds pretty right to me. At least he's standing on something. That's the point. He giving a definition. He's not playing around. Whatever. You come on, Wallow. Do better than this.
What exactly he means, but
I think again, the tweet. I think that's the important part of the tweet is that it allows people to interpret it how they want, and which is why we're talking about it right now. The tweet did what it was supposed to do. Why would you?
If I'm giving advice to people, I don't want them to interpret it how they want. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point of my message? If I'm telling
not giving advice to people, that's the whole point of this. Do you want? It's impossible to put anything out there without people interpreting it as follow these steps. Here's your 12 rules for life, and you're going to live a happy life.
High value man. That's literally what your tweet was. Do these things. High value. What is the wording of the tweet? Go back to the tweet itself. So
here's in that wording of the tweet. What's the last part of that? What's the last one? Resist easing up on your focus. Whatever's like, do you want me to insert what you ought to be doing? You ought to be coding. Is that what I should say? You ought to be becoming a professional athlete. I don't know what your fucking strengths.
Okay, Valo. This list I make up may be bullshit, but let me know what you think. I would say do your absolute best to stay fit. Hold yourself accountable. Don't have children until you can support them. Best option is after marriage. Remain on your focus and on your drive, but still at the same time give some time for mental health, working out, taking some, I don't know, having some peace at the same time. Don't drive yourself into the ground. Play into your strengths and build wealth. I agree with that. Save money, invest your money, gain a valuable skill that you can leverage for better income, and you can also use for maybe a personal business in the future. I would say also at the same time, look at your passions. Use whatever skill you have, making money. Use that to fuel your passion at the same time, and hopefully then you can use those passions to make your money on the side. I think that's like I don't know, it's not perfect, of course, but like at least it's something more concise and it can apply to much more people. And no matter what you're trying to get to or what field drives you, at least with those type of things, it's hard for you to go astray. It's better than saying get a vasectomy or avoid family creation. I'm saying have a family, but do it when you can support it. I'm not saying don't get married. I'm saying get married when you know you're ready. Eliminate all sedations. You can have a drink or smoke if you want to smoke, but have limits with that type of stuff. So I don't know, that's just me.
Are
You can simplify and say work hard.
again, so here's the thing. If I say, you know what, you ought to be an NBA player, and it doesn't matter if that you're 5'9", fucking stay on your focus, and you're going to be the best NBA player you can possibly be.
No, that'd be terrible advice.
That would be absolutely terrible advice, because this is advice. That's why. Okay, this is a list that is meant to get so you get an idea of what the fuck it is that you're going to do so that you can become that high value man. Protect yourself. Don't get married. Avoid family creation. That's second. Again, this is over the top shit. Anybody who knows anything about my material, when I throw this out there, they know this is over the top shit.
What else on that
needs
list?
a fucking fire for douche nozzles like
What else besides the
Ben Shapiro.
I don't want
I love Twitch chat, man. I freaking love it.
to be a douche nozzle, but what else?
Yeah, besides number 3, what else here is over the top?
Besides vasectomy.
Well, live consistently, okay? Well, what if, some people will say, well, that's vanity, right?
Myron, there's no way you agree with that. Saying
Well,
live
actually,
consistent.
hold on. For Rolo, it might be. Okay, to be fair.
I already,
okay?
guys, see, here's the thing.
But you're missing, are you not hearing anything he's saying?
See,
Do you need to blindly agree with him? Because
No.
nothing he's saying is making any sense.
Bro,
It's not making any sense to you because you don't understand the concept of the tweet. That's why.
You can't even
Did
thoroughly
you understand what I... Okay, let me hold stop here. Did you understand what I was saying about Brandon Carter?
Yeah, he doesn't do his laundry.
No, but he's taken everything to this extreme level. Like to a lot of guys, Brandon Carter's not a high... Okay, would you agree with me that Brandon Carter is a high value guy?
Sure.
Okay, you know who wouldn't? Ben Shapiro. You know who wouldn't? A lot of other people, because they think that they're living out their own high value ideal. Do you understand that?
Context.
Like the 350-pound esports player is living out his ideal of a high value man.
Yeah, whether or not that's working for him is irrelevant to the tweet. When I say, okay, when I'm talking about Brandon Carter, you say you understand that. He's taking it to like this extreme level.
How is Ben Shapiro not a high value guy?
Like stay on top of it. For Brandon Carter, what do you think Brandon Carter's definition of a high value man is?
Probably the same as mine.
Which is
Determined by society. If you have respect from your community, then you are a high value person. If people respect you.
so being pro-social and having people like you and depending on the...
I know you don't agree with him because he's Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro is definitely a high value man.
Yeah, I agree.
But so let's just say let's say
Agree with it?
He does. He said so.
You don't think Ben Shapiro is a high value man?
let's take for do I think he is? I don't think he's a high value man. But,
Wait, what is his definition? He owns his own business. It's like one of the most successful alt media platforms in the world. He's married to a fucking young sweetheart.
Right. You know who else is not a high value guy? Elon Musk. Let's see. Who else? Jeff Bezos. All you got to do is just go. All you have to do is look at the decisions they've made in their personal lives. Okay. How are we going to define that? If I'm going to define that,
you haven't. You're the only one who hasn't defined it.
Yeah.
Their personal life is a personal life. I don't give a damn. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, these guys, they have contributed more to society, the community, the world, than Rollo ever will. How they not high value man? I don't agree with everything Ben Shapiro got to say. Even still, he's still a high value man. Like, that's insane. Build up his own business. He's successful. He's married to somebody he loves. He's gonna build a family. He's independent, I think. Like, that's pretty damn high value and successful. He's pretty damn high value to his employees, to his wife. Come on.
I'm not the one defining it for fucking Jeff Bezos. I'm not the one defining it for fucking what's his face? Ben Shapiro.
Whale can think she's a 10 as long as that's how she defines beauty to herself.
Well, you guys just defined. You guys. Well, hold on. Wait, Sneako. You just defined Brandon Carter as a high value guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that fits
Shapiro
your
and
definition of a high value guy, but I will tell you right now that that would not fit the same definition that, say, Ben Shapiro would have for a high value guy, because he doesn't have his babies on point. He doesn't have this on point. He's not going to church or synagogue every day, right? So to him, he's not necessarily a high value guy.
I don't think synagogue has to do with high value. That's like
because that's the way that other people would define it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Is that true?
it's not, value is not subjective. When we talk about value,
It's
we're
the
usually
market.
talking about some sort of exchange in a market.
No.
Value is usually what are people willing to do or give for a certain thing. It's not defined by this. If one man is on an island with no other people, there is no value.
No, this one over your head is the idea of being high value.
No, there is no idea of being high value. And if it was anybody else on the show, you guys would be roasting the fuck out of them for saying that's your
Exactly.
idea
Yeah,
of being high value. You would be roasted. If any of the girls come here, because you do this to girls all the time, so it goes right. They're like, I think I'm a 10. It's like, why? Because I'm so special and blah, blah, blah.
I say you're not special.
I just gave you Brandon Carter as an example. I just gave you Brandon Carter. We can use any single example you want. You could be the 500-pound guy who just does esports, or it can be like Brandon Carter or the top G. Yep. Any one of those guys. The thing still applies.
All right, look.
Are you better off? Are you better off without the obstructions? Are you better off without the bag?
Everyone here has kind of a different thing. Like me, I've defined it. This is what I think makes you high value. You might have a different take on it. You might have a different take on it. I've defined it, and then I took my interpretation off what you said. If you want to get these things, and it makes sense to me, those things that you listed. But I'm seeing here that everyone here kind of has a different interpretation.
Wait, that's not true. All four of us probably roughly agree on what makes you high value.
No, we don't.
The three of us probably
Ben
do.
Shapiro said you said you have high value. I don't think
Having
he is.
like some amount of like physical fitness, we all agree that that's decently valuable, correct?
On some level, yeah.
Okay. Having some amount of like social status. So you've got the attention of a lot of people and you're influential. We all agree on that, right? Mm-hmm. Having some amount of financial success, right? You have freedom to take care of your family, retire if you want to, even at an early age. We all agree with that, right?
Okay.
And having some level of success with your family and friends, right? We all roughly agree on that, right?
Okay.
If you have those four things in check, you're probably a high value man.
No, it's more than that. See, here's what he's saying. I can add more to it because for me, in my head, what high value is way more than that. To you, that might be important, but to me, it's not. That's not everything.
What's a key component missing from what I said?
Is a high value guy the guy that marries somebody from a foreign country and brings her over here so she can get citizenship? Because that's your family dynamic. My family dynamic is different than that. Does that make me high value or low value?
Exactly. It's going to depend on the person.
If I'm in a heterosexual marriage for 27 years and not in a polycule or some shit, like it's like some people will say you're high value because you do that. People will say, Rolla, you can't be red pill because you're married. You can't be married because you're red pill. Okay, and suddenly I'm blue pill because I am actually in a relationship where it's like close on her end, close on her end, and close on my end. But if I go and I talk to the top G or I talk to somebody who's like in an open relationship, is that guy high value because of that? I'm not. This is not a judgment call. I'm just saying that the definition is going to be different. Even if you have all those things, even each one of those things that you just mentioned is still it's still subject to the context. I agree with what you said, Destiny. What I'm saying is that from within each one of those attributes, people are going to have something wildly different. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to use that for blog fodder and topics to go and do quick hit videos on because they just want click through rate for something like that.
What would we say about women? If we say, what is a high value woman?
You tell me, man. It's like, again, this is the definition.
Bro, this is like your wheelhouse. This is your chance to steamroll.
I don't think you understand why wheelhouse is. Quite honestly, I don't think you do.
Redpill shit. Isn't that what you do?
Your
so you
name
should
is
know,
the
like,
rational male.
Yeah, a high value woman is.
I don't talk about high value women, dude. In fact, if anything, I say there's no such thing as a quality woman because it's an ideal that guys have in their heads.
There's no such thing as a quality woman?
No such thing as a quality woman because guys have this. The quality woman is an ideal, but we can talk about that when I get there. But the thing is like when you're building a relationship or when you have this idea in your head, you want to know why guys get into so much fucking trouble in their marriages? It's because of that ideal. Because every guy who ever got married thought that she was the best fucking thing in the world. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got married to her. And then until he gets across the divorce table from her, and now she's a fucking evil monster.
That's one whenever you genuinely don't think that there's quality women in the world?
I think that there are women who have different attributes than others that match very well with guys. Sure, there are good clicks, of course. But the thing is like the idea of the quality woman is an ideal that guys have that gets them into a lot of trouble. That's why they're in love with the ideal, not the actual person.
That's why high value men, but there aren't high value women.
I'm not saying that I said there aren't high value men and there aren't high value women. Okay, it just depends on who we're talking about.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about, bro.
In the context.
I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
I get what you're saying, but
I feel like I need to do mushrooms before I come on the show. That's what it feels like, the kind of conversation we're having right now.
No, you know what it is, Destiny, is you don't know what the fuck we're talking about. That's why.
On any of this, and I'm surprised because you write about this all the time. You wrote a whole book about it. People that really respect it. And I have no idea.
You guys might be confused because I'm the one that says there's no such thing as a high value woman. A woman that's a woman gets her value directly from a man that she gets in a relationship with. Because all women have value, but not all men have value.
All women don't have the same value.
Well,
don't even think about it. You know that's not true. If I give you a woman with 100 bodies and a woman with 0 bodies, if I give you a woman that's 500 pounds, if I give you a woman with 5 kids,
here's my thing. Okay, here's my thing, because I've said this before.
I know men must become and women are. I know you're about to do that speech. But I'm just saying there are some women that are better than others.
I wasn't going to say that. Of course. But all women have value to some level, but not all men have value because men have to build their shit up. So what I'm saying is that a high value woman a high value woman gets her value from being with a high value man.
I don't even think that's true. All men have value to some extent.
The metric of success for a female is being able to get the best man that they can get.
And men can build and do things. In places like China where you're limited to the amount of children, what do? They opt for boys. Because they can go out and work and fucking get jobs and shit and do things around the fucking house or whatever, right?
Yeah, the fucking 1980s. The one child policy hasn't been around since the mid 90s, dude.
Sure, but when it was grossly favoring the birth of boys because you could do more with boys than you could with women. Just the idea that like
that was a perception until now they're facing the consequences of that.
Well, so is Japan. That's a super homogenous.
That's one situation. Like, okay, you're using China, but let's be honest here. Why does it say women and children off the boat first, and not men? Women have always had it's a chivalry thing, but why is that? Because if you have 100 women and one guy, you can still continue society. But if you have 100 men and one woman, we're fucked.
Women are the vulnerable sex and men are the disposable sex. That's why.
Women have value inherently. So what I'm saying is this: since every woman has value, for a woman to be high value, she's got to be able to lock down a high value guy. There's a reason why women take a man's last name and not the other way around. Women, when they meet each other and hug, the first thing they ask typically is, "Oh, do you have a man? Do you have a relationship? Tell me about your kids, etc." When two men meet, what do? Shake hands. What do you do for a living? Men are judged on creating value. Women are judged on creating children. Typically. Now, are there some women out there that chase success and making money, whatever? Sure. But that is not the main goal of a female. The main goal of a female from a biological sense is to procreate. For a woman to procreate, she's got to be with a man. Typically, they want the best guy. For a man to procreate, he's got to create excess resources to be able to attract that woman. So what we bring to the table is different. And what I would argue...
I don't disagree with any of that, but there are high-value women. And there probably are high-value men.
I think a woman's only high-value if she could lock down a high-value guy. That's my take on it.
Well, at least you have a definition for it.
That's my definition on it. Which, again, I see all of us here at the table have different opinions, which is great. But that's my take on it, like with a high-value man, a high-value woman.
No. I mean, what you want me to say is a woman who has a low body count, who is, a girl from the Amish Dutch country in Pennsylvania who's never, known another man, doesn't have any social media. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can go with this, but again, it's those are ideals. Okay.
Yeah, the other ideals are important because ideals are what we strive for. An ideal is the whole.
And those ideals are also what lead us astray, which is why this list is fucking useful. That's why.
Ideals lead you into a better life. That's the whole point of an ideal. It's the best version of yourself. You're never going to be the best version of yourself, but the path to being the best version of yourself.
Every guy who ever thought he found his fucking soulmate, who ended up on the opposite side of the fucking divorce table from her, had a fucking ideal about that woman.
Sure, and every man that dies happily surrounded by his family who had a long...
Oh, yes, I know. The pastoral scene with everybody fought, we're surrounded by his family. You know what? You know that like 90% of the population of the United States doesn't die like that. They actually die in assisted living and nobody knows about it until the next morning.
Okay, as opposed to you who was tweeting about dying in his motorbike in an accident. Okay, dude.
You said you wanted to black
that is a fucking fantasy.
Come on. Let me hit these chats real fast.
And we got another show coming up.
Yeah, we got another show coming up. I'm going to go through this real fast. All right, so we got Kid Blue RB goes, Rolo dodging the defining a high value man is like the LGBT dodging what a woman is. Feels like I'm watching Matt Walsh's documentary right now. You're the grandmaster of RP. You out of all people should be able to define what a high value man is.
He can't define high value male, but he can define us as douche nozzles.
All right, let me.
That's pretty funny though.
Microchip says, Myron, you're my guy, but you're giving Rolo an out. Let him stand on the chair he's standing on so he can continue to hang himself with his food.
I know you really want to defend him because
here's the thing.
I know you base a lot of the show around that book, but bro, he's making absolutely no sense.
Here's the thing. everyone is interpreting it different. Obviously, I have my take on it. Rolo has his take.
He doesn't
Chris has
have a
his
take, bro.
We all have different takes on
He
this.
doesn't have a take.
That's still a take. That's still a take.
Okay.
If this was some LGBT shit or some woman shit, we would be all laughing and roasting the fight. Rightfully so.
Yes.
If a woman came out and we were like, what makes a woman high value? And she's like, well, if she's in her moment and if she's girl bossing it up as hard as she can, that's a high value woman. Like, we would be roasting.
That's the same argument he's making right now.
What I'm saying. It's not it's apples and oranges.
No, it's
Because
not.
that's the problem with all this shit. Is like you don't even understand the nature of the tweet. That's why.
Because I'm asking you a specific question, you can't answer it. Ask if it's advice. It's not. It's a joke. It's not.
The minute, okay, okay, here's the thing. Here's a high value. Let me give you a high value man. A high value man goes and fucks as many chicks as he possibly can, as many women as possible, and he fucking finds one little needle in the haystack, and he wipes up that girl because she happens to have no body count. She's like 100% in love with him, and I can go and rattle off all these extremes, and you know who's going to disagree with me? Every guy in fucking Daily Wire is going to disagree.
Say what you really think. Don't say it ironically. Say what you believe.
What I'm saying is what I believe here. Okay, this is the whole thing. It's the point of the fucking tweet is that it's your definition of what it is.
You keep saying that when you said Ben Shapiro, you said Ben Shapiro's not a high value man. So you must be comparing him to some standard in your head. You said Bezos is not a high value man. You said Elon Musk is not a high value man. So there's some standard in your head that you're comparing these guys to that they're not matching up to. What is that standard?
Right. Well, let's all you would have to do is look at their personal lives so you would understand this. Again, do I have time to go and enumerate all of that? No, I don't. But if you go and you look at what they're doing, like look, let's just use Elon Musk for a second here.
Well, let's use Ben Shapiro. That was a good example. Ben Shapiro.
We can look at Ben Shapiro. How did he meet his wife? Do you know how he met his wife?
What did they
It was arranged, right?
Was it an arranged or family friends? I don't know.
No, basically what Ben Shapiro did was he wore this chick down over the course of God knows like 3 or 4 months, right? He would meet the definition of stalking and being a creeper if he wasn't Ben Shapiro, right? If he didn't have his background in who he was.
3 to 4 months. What does that mean?
Basically,
What it means is he wore her down is what he did. He's very proud of that fact too.
Okay, hold on real quick. You seem to have a problem with this. When somebody asks you what is X and then you go, well, it's X, you're not really answering the question. You've done this like 3 times. When you say wore her down over 3 to 4 months, what does that mean? Did they date? Did he see her after school?
What that means is he was persistent. He just kept wearing her down over the course of time.
Bro, that's ridiculous, man.
I will send you the video. I will send you the video.
Okay. Jesus.
All right.
You guys should do viewer call-ins more often. It's cute.
okay. Well,
Yeah, and you should send your OnlyFans girls to come at me to debate me in your proxy next time.
We're asking to debate you right now, and you can't even.
Except next time, please find a girl who actually puts lenses in her glasses. A little weird.
You're so triggered, dude. Are you okay?
Not very rational.
I think
His 6 month will be the
like I
emotional
said
male,
before,
I think.
because I would consider Ben Shapiro a high value guy. I would.
Yeah, no, everybody would, obviously.
But
Wait, you
again, there's
disagree with
different takes on it.
the Grandmaster?
The Godfather, the great granddaddy of the Redpill.
y'all niggas trolling, man.
The Grand
Would you, Myron? Would you agree with his outlook on women?
With Ben Shapiro's outlook on women?
Yeah. Ben Shapiro has literally come at you for exactly this. For everything that these guys are talking about, he's come at you for exactly the same thing.
Yeah, so
you guys did a full show on this.
No, for sure. I disagree with him on as far as like the female stuff. Like, oh yeah, that like having sexual experience is like bad for you, like he was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I think objectively speaking, from the things that I listed as far as what I think makes a guy high value, he has all those things. Now, he's limited on his knowledge of females for sure, right? Because I think he only got with one girl, and you know she comes from a certain type. She comes from a family, and a certain family. I don't want to say because we're on YouTube, but but I think that set her up. Yeah, cha-ching. That set her up to be a girl that would be to his liking. But the point I'm trying to make is I think Ben Shapiro's a high value guy, but I don't agree with his stances on women.
Well, same thing with Steven Crowder right now. You guys were just talking about Crowder not too long ago. Like right up until he got this divorce and all this stuff started coming out and Candace Owens and all that shit.
Guys, but I don't.
Everybody would have said he was a high value guy until now.
I think they're high value guys like Crowder and Ben Shapiro based on what they've accomplished in life. But I don't agree with their standpoints on.
Rolo
females.
thinks that if he disagrees with them, then they.
Yeah, that's what.
guys are like, go back to fucking Twitch. Just go back to Twitch.
Nah, Wallow, that's literally what you're saying right here, because I agree with Myron, I agree with everybody else besides you. Ben Shapiro, Jeff Bezos, all these guys are high value men. How are you? These are the richest men in the world, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. How are you the richest men in the world, but you're not a high value man? You don't get more high value than freaking the richest man in the world, the owner of SpaceX and Tesla, the owner of Amazon. Like, come on, man, this is ridiculous. I don't get it. And he literally built up Amazon from the ground up. Like, really, Rollo? It just seems to be like people that you don't like personally, especially Ben Shapiro, isn't high value. I don't agree with everything Ben Shapiro says. I probably definitely wouldn't agree with him on the whole woman thing, because he's extremely conservative. But even still, who he decides to smash has nothing to do with me. Where everything else he does makes him high value.
Start playing games again.
Conservative
Lee,
beliefs.
you have no fucking point. There's no point for either one of you to be on this fucking show, quite honestly.
Dumbledore has spoken.
Because here's the thing: the traditional conservative beliefs don't necessarily work in today's sexual marketplace when it comes to dealing with women.
No, we agree, but that's the reason he thinks Ben Shapiro's not high value, because he disagreed with you on relationships.
No, what I'm saying is that well, yes, I would actually agree with that, simply because.
Okay, so there's a point.
Does Ben Shapiro, the way what his disagreement with you, does that then at least in some way diminish him as a high value man?
No, we can disagree. I disagree with that.
I'm asking Myron. I mean, because it's Myron who says, he's a high value guy, but like,
describe that he disagrees on the traditional relationships.
If you're gonna look at money, if you're gonna look at money, muscles, and game, okay. In this case, it's the female aspect of what makes a high value guy, right? If he disagrees with what he's not disagreeing with me, he's disagreeing with Myron.
He just said that he's high value.
He said he's high value, but except for that one part where he's saying, you know what, I disagree with his outlook when it comes to like women and how best to go about like forming relationships or whatever, the sex, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think he's a high value guy, but I disagree with his notion on how to deal with women.
Well, he's not fucking 50. He's not fucking 50 guy or 50 women.
No,
he's not. He's not. He's against that, which I think is dated. You know what I mean? Again, like I said before, I think a guy could be traditionally conservative, but I'd not agree. I don't necessarily have to agree with someone's viewpoints on how they deal with females for me to see them as high value, because I think he accomplishes all the things that I mentioned on my list of what I think makes a guy high value.
And so what you're doing is you're saying that high value is these accomplishments, correct?
Yeah, I'm interpreting it. Yeah, that's how I interpret it, which obviously everyone here at the panel has a different opinion.
I kind of agree. Yeah, I agree with that. Respected, accomplished.
Which is
we don't really have a different opinion.
I feel like our definition of high value are pretty aligned at the table.
Yeah, with us three, yeah. But I mean, again, we're looking at things differently in general.
Okay.
Because you guys don't agree. I agree with his tweet if you want to become high value in the quickest amount of time.
But you can't agree with it if he doesn't even define it. You can't agree with him if you don't even know what his definition is.
But does he agree with it? Defined by the way he defines it.
What is?
No, but he did though. He chose what high value means to him. You're missing a point.
Thank you. Fresh is the voice of reason.
It's going over your head because you guys are thinking about 1 point vasectomy. That's it.
We weren't even on vasectomy, but that's okay. I think we come to the bottom of this.
It's common sense.
Well, Myron agrees with the tweet that I'm talking about, according to what his definition of a high value guy is. Correct?
Yeah, he knows his definition.
Yeah,
exactly.
High value men are just like people that have high value and are men. I agree. I got it.
All right, I'll hit these other ones. We got here Viking Paradigm, ignoring the context, talking over, interrupting ad hominems, goalpost shifting, claiming it's advice when it's not. It's easy to see who's trying to control their viewers and who's not, and easy to see who lost the debate here.
Hey, you're a douche nozzle. That's a douche nozzle thing to say.
Shout out Viking, man.
That's not very rational of you.
Life, love, value. Women aren't so simple. Leave these RP dudes alone in their zone to stew. Responsibility, intelligence, and discipline above all, and are talismans of happiness for most people. Enjoy life, grind, and don't glorify.
Hey, I agree. Okay, 100%.
And then what else we got here? We got Mike Rashid. I hope y'all don't let Rolo's weird immigration comment fly by.
Immigration comment.
Immigration?
I wish I got an invite for this discussion.
I wish you got an invite for this discussion.
He should come to the round table next week.
Immigration?
He's not Trump.
We didn't talk about
What am I talking about?
immigration.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. What else? Anything else?
Up to you guys. Question mark.
That's it.
John.
100%.
100%. If I wanted to learn how to become a successful man, I'd go to Rolo before going to Sneako or Destiny, two grown-ass men who argue like teenage boys.
All right, so a 55-year-old guy calling us douche nozzles to someone who's like 3 times younger, that's a mature way to argue?
Damn.
If that's your idea, then okay.
Wow. Shots fired.
That's just what happened on the show.
This is
You
a
left them
great
speechless.
debation.
Do you have anything to say? Like you called in.
Great
You're just
debation.
staring.
Where can they find y'all?
I mean, they know where to find. We plugged them out.
Go back to Twitch. That's some advice for you. That's some real advice for you guys. You guys have no business fucking being in any of this shit right here. You're not ready to have an adult conversation. Everything.
A lot of super chats.
I've
Like,
seen you
it's pretty
chatting
wild.
more than any other name in the chats. I read chat like whenever I stream, which is when I'm online, and you're in there more than me.
True.
So calling us Twitch, actually, I'm banned on there. I'm on Rumble, but yeah, if you want to pull the online card, then maybe get off the internet a little bit and chatting all day. Douche nozzle.
It's a lot harder when it's not just like 22-year-old women being ganged up on a podcast, huh? I'm sorry, Rillo.
No, I'll be happy to fucking debate you, dude. On any topic you want.
We are right now.
We just did.
No, you're talking about this one fucking tweet is what you're talking about.
Well, we were talking to the Godfather of Redpill, trying to.
Yeah,
decide
and speaking of fucking tweets, or excuse me, speaking of fucking super chats, was that not you on whatever podcast the other night?
Yeah, I like to support people that go on to have a podcast.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you for at least admitting it.
Those are the only 2 super chats I've sent in my life. If I'm watching content and I want to know if it's Red Pill or not, I just
Seems like you're watching a lot more than you think you are.
Every program I've ever been on. It's insane. You should get a tax credit for like watching me.
Bro, do you have anything to say? Why are you staring like that, man? Okay. I thought you'd have a rap.
It's like, no, you guys. Let's see. Here's the thing: is you guys. First of all, I've thrown out this.
Slayer in his car after the show.
First of all, this challenge. If you guys want to come to Vegas, come to Vegas. We'll sit across the table from each other.
Oh,
and
we're
we'll
gonna
do it.
build up your fucking dog shit podcast. What are you talking about? Come to Miami.
I am coming to Miami.
Next week.
Oh, cool.
You hope you're here next week.
You guys are so mean, man.
Yeah,
What can we all come
Bro,
together
I didn't even
on
say.
love,
What
bro?
do you mean we're mean? He
man.
called us douche nozzles. Oh, it's fine. He's the grand wizard of Red Pill, so I can't go say anything about that. But I'm mean now because I'm calling him irrational for not having any arguments at all. Bro, I know you want to defend him because the book is here on the table, but like, bro, that made no sense.
You guys have not read the book. You guys don't know what the fuck
I'm
you're
not reading your
talking
book, bro. You can't even define what high value man is. Why would I read a book from a guy who can't have a clear definition?
I don't know if you read the
No,
book.
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm fucking for the last half hour. I've been trying to explain to you this shit to you. You guys have no business being in this fucking sphere to begin with. First of all. Second of all,
keep it forever until you're 65.
second of all, and the reason why is because you devolve into. You want to know why? Like when we talk, nobody debates anymore. You know why? Because it devolves into this middle school bullshit that both of you are. But you guys are perfect. Yes, you guys should marry each other.
You can't call this childish when you were the one who started insulting. I would just ask you a question and then you said douche nozzle.
True.
Now you're gonna go play the maturity card.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna play the maturity card.
That was a middle school argument.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, this is not going anywhere.
This was a great debate.
I like
Debation.
The debation.
Well, I mean, it's very obvious that everyone here has different takes, which is great. I think that's good.
I'm not sure what his take is still, but
But that's cool. It's different than ours. We know that.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Is there anything else, Chris? Or
Let's see. Nope, we're good.
all right,
All right.
bro,
Smash
do you have
that like
anything
button.
that you want to say before we?
I was gonna say I'll be there next week.
All right, cool. Well, I think we'll have him on the 15th.
Let's do a boxing match. Just kidding.
All right, bro. Thanks for coming on, bro.
All right, damn. So initially, I planned on cutting this up into 2 parts, but honestly, I was just enjoying Rollo. I don't know, flounder, trying to give a definition to the most basic thing in the whole tweet, to be honest. So fuck, I just watched the whole thing. But overall, I think he just really made himself look bad. I don't know. Defining a high value man is pretty easy and simple. You don't have to make it so strict and concise, but you could also, I don't know, give a good definition, or at least a good, I don't know, parameters of what a high value man is. And if this guy's writing books about it, if he's supposed to be the Godfather or whatever of the manosphere, I thought that was Kevin Samuels, but if he's supposed to be all these, I don't know, titles or whatever of the Red Pill, but he can't even define the most basic thing of it, it just sounds crazy to me. I don't know how big he is because I don't watch his stuff. I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of him, I just don't care to watch his content. Like I said, I try to keep this Red Pill stuff, I don't know, at a distance, at a minimum, because letting it invade too much of your life could have negative consequences. And I don't want to have that stuff leaking into my life. But overall, I don't know. It's crazy. Sneako is the one that making him look bad. Sneako's the one that's pressing him on Redpill stuff. Just a month or two ago, he was all under Andrew Tate. He was going viral for that stuff, for having his back and forth with Morse Critical. Now he's over here signing with Destiny, going after Wallow. Crazy, the times we live in. But I don't know if this is stuff that he really likes and supports and it matters to him. I support it because he's pushing for families and he's not just pushing for people to make life changing or I don't know bad choices to their life to reach a goal that it might not be fulfilled with. I'm glad they brought the whole vasectomy thing, especially the whole thing about it not being reversed after 10 years or so being true, because some guys will see that and just go right with it and not even care about consequences or the effects of that. And Destiny bringing up earlier about getting a vasectomy and freezing your sperm is very equivalent to a woman freezing their eggs. I don't know, that is a kind of a good point to make. You could make a counter argument that the woman's case is because they refuse to get, I don't know, married or settle down in their prime. But for guys, the reason why he's freezing his sperm because he doesn't want to risk having a family until they get into his prime. But at the same time, they still doing surgery or whatever to try to reach his, I don't know, lifestyle or goal. And at the end of the day, I think the whole point of doing this stuff is to have a family. If you're just getting rich to get rich, after you die, you're not going to enjoy that money. But if you have a family, a legacy or whatever, then you at least have something to pass it on and someone to remember you by. Shoot, and your DNA and your genes is one of the most surest ways to go about it in doing so. You're providing future generations and future lives down the line that will enjoy some happiness, success because of stuff you did. And if you're grinding at the same time and successful, those people will benefit from your grind that you had as you pass down that generational wealth to them. So overall, I agree with Sneako on this. Sneako and Destiny, and Rollo just made himself look very bad. But I don't know. If you want me to watch the whole Destiny, Sneako, and Rollo in person thing, as I guess it's supposed to happen on Saturday or Sunday the 15th, let me know and I'll definitely do a reaction to it. But that's it for now. It's your boy Logos. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace.